Hey, okay, real quick, just wanted to talk to you guys about and dive a little bit deeper and focus on the nutritional cycle and kind of the nutrition strategy that we will be following week to week through the Faster Way to Fat Loss program. The cool thing is that this cycle really doesn't change. So within the first 2 weeks, you will really have it dialed in. But again, the portal and our Facebook group will give you a constant reminder of where we are each day and what you are aiming for and what your nutritional goals are for the day. So really for the entire program and every time we go to eat, we are focused on whole food nutrition. We want to make sure that all of our food or most of our food is coming from whole food sources. We're going to try to crowd out the boxes and the packages, right? And we will be focusing on lean proteins, lots and lots of vegetables, crowd those plates with the veggies, healthy fats, olive oil, coconut oil, nuts and seeds. And then also too, when it comes to our carbohydrates, we are gonna focus on complex carbohydrates. And again, whole food. So things like sweet potatoes, quinoa, brown rice, fruit, starchy vegetables like winter squashes, butternut squash, things like that. We don't necessarily want to fill our carbohydrates with white bread and big bowls of pasta. Whole grains like oats are fine as well. We will also be having the intention of being dairy-free and gluten-free. I would like us to try to practice dairy-free and gluten-free as much as possible. So gluten-free, when you are eating a whole food diet or a whole food-based diet anyway, you will typically be gluten-free kind of naturally or be very close to gluten-free naturally. A lot of gluten is found in your packaged foods. So we will try to adhere to a gluten-free diet and also to a dairy-free diet. And a real big reason for that is that dairy comes with a lot of calories and a lot of fat, and you're not really getting much from it. Other foods that are calorie dense will probably be giving you more nutritional value. Also, dairy has been shown to be a high inflammation food, and it can be something that a lot of people have kind of an allergen to or sensitivity to that they don't even really know that they have. So I would say that I practice dairy-free 95% of the time. I will occasionally have like a plain full-fat Greek yogurt as a protein source, but that is like sprinkled into my diet fairly sparingly. And then on leg days and such, I will, add a little bit of sprinkle cheese to my taco or maybe a little bit of feta to my salad. But for the most part, we are intentionally being dairy-free and gluten-free, at least for the 7 weeks. Again, give it a try. You will probably see the best weight loss results if you stick with that. But so there we are kind of for our bottom line nutritional things that we'll be following across the board. Now, hopefully you guys have all had an opportunity to download the MyFitnessPal app and have watched the MyFitnessPal video. And so kind of I'm just going to pull mine up here, have yours set up so that you know what your goals are, your specific goals for you are for your specific goals are your nutrient goals. So like your calorie intake, your carbohydrate intake, your protein, and your fat. So if you've got that set up, you know what those numbers are. MyFitnessPal is a very important part of this program. It is what we will use on a daily basis to track our calories or track our food, track our macros, and use it to adhere to our nutritional strategy. So you have to be able to track and log to know if you are being low carb, to track and log to know if you are doing a regular carb day. And it'll be the way that we check in with each other, or you check in with me, on a daily basis. So prep week is such a great week to really get to know the app and to start using it, so that next Monday we are ready to hit the ground running. So I'm just going to kind of go through our food cycle here fairly quickly. So our first cycle, and it's always a Monday and a Tuesday, is a low carb day. So all I want you to focus on, two things I want you to focus on in a low carb day, is you are going to be aiming for less than 50 net carbs a day. And remember from the MyFitnessPal video that 50 net carbs is your total carbohydrates minus your fiber, and you can find that information on your nutrient page. Your second goal for low carb day is to stay at or under your calorie goals. So for instance, if MyFitnessPal gave you a goal for your calories, we've put all that stuff in. If your MyFitnessPal gave you a goal for your calories of 1,600 calories a day, on a low carb day, you're going to be at 1,600 or less and focusing on less than 50 net carbs a day. That is all that you need to be worrying about. Your proteins will naturally be up and your fats will naturally be up because we have to make up from those calories because we're not eating as many carbohydrates. So we will all be focusing on the same thing on the low carb days. Now, also on low carb days, in order to reach those goals, you will want to focus on lean protein. I really want you to focus on getting protein, a good amount of protein at every meal. And you will want to avoid things like fruit, sweet potatoes, quinoa, brown rice, our complex carbohydrates. You're going to probably want to save those for your regular carb days. So fill your plates with lots of vegetables and lean protein, and healthy fats are what you want to focus on a low carb day. And again, remember, less than 50 net carbs in the day. And net carbs are total carbohydrates minus fiber. Okay, so those are your low carb days, and those are always Mondays and Tuesdays, 2 days in a row. Then we move on to our regular carbohydrate day. I do not call them high carbs. They are regular carbohydrate day. And so what we are looking to focus on regular carbohydrate day is looking back at our MyFitnessPal goals, right? So we added in our weight, our activity level, and we clicked on the nutrient goal, and it spit out for us our calorie deficit number. And then we changed those percentages to 45, 20, and 35. Right? So you will be focusing on your carbohydrate number, grams, your protein grams, and your fat grams. Now, here's the deal, is all of us will have different numbers or different grams because, my current weight and my weight loss goal is different than the next person's current weight and weight loss goal. So on a regular carb day, what you are aiming for is the recommended number. So this isn't mine. This is just another client that I had plopped into my phone. But for instance, this client, her recommended is 1,252 calories a day. And she has 157 grams of carbohydrates, 63 grams of protein, and 42 grams of fat. Those are her goals. So on regular carb day, all we're wanting to do is hit those goals or be under. So just not over. So if it's a regular carb day and your goal is 157 carbs and you ate 113 carbs, great, that's fine. You weren't over 157. If it's a regular carb day and your goal was 42 grams of fat and you ate 42 grams of fat, great, that's awesome. And then so sometimes when you look at that pie chart, it might look like it's way bigger in fat, but really I want you to look at the grams. And as long as you are at or under your gram goal, you are all good. And we are also focusing to that day on our calorie goal. So you're wanting to make sure that you are at or below your calories. It will be very hard to be spot on and perfect every single time you go to eat. So that's why we give ourselves some grace and we say as long as we are at or under those goals, we are all good for a regular carb day. And again, regular carb days, those are the days that you can actually bring back fruit. My clients love apples and almond butter on regular carb day as a snack. You can bring back fruit. Great time for some quinoa, brown rice, even breaking your fast with some a big bowl of oatmeal. Just because you're not eating at breakfast time doesn't mean you can't eat oatmeal. Sweet potatoes, starchy vegetables like butternut squash are all great things to add into your diet on regular carb days. Okay, so then the next day in our cycle is what we call a low calorie day. So low calories, all you are going to be focused on is taking your calorie goal number and reducing that by 25%. Between 20 and 25%. So for instance, if I'm allowed 1,700 calories and I'm going to reduce that by 20%, that's 1,700 minus 340, and that gives me 1,360 calories for a low calorie day. In low calorie days, we are not working out, we are resting and recovering. So that would be my goal for a low calorie day. That's all that I would really be focused on, is making sure that I am at my low calorie number or under. I'm not super concerned about where your grams are coming from, just that you are sticking to your low calorie number. Now, naturally, for a low calorie day, a good strategic way to go about a low calorie day is to extend your fast a little bit longer. So you kind of have a shorter window to eat the smaller amount of calories. And another strategy is to really focus on protein intake. Protein makes you feel full longer and more satisfied, and it takes the body a lot longer to digest. So getting a lot of protein in on a low calorie day is going to really help you adhere and stick to that low calorie number. So then the next day is our what we will call our training day. So Saturdays are typically our training days, and that is where we hit the gym and lift really heavy, and we really focus on legs on our training day. So with our training day, we kind of follow a if it fits your macros mentality. So training days are a great day to kind of indulge in maybe that piece of birthday cake, that donut, that couple glasses of wine, maybe a little bit of that dairy, the cheese you've been wanting on your salad. And as long as it fits your macros, so again, as long as you hit or stay under your calorie goal, hit or stay under your carbohydrates, hit or stay under your protein, hit and stay under your fat, then it is fair game. So what I like to do on training days is, like, let's say, my wine is what I'm going to be going for. I just make sure I plug that wine into my FitnessPal before the day even gets going. And as long as it fits your macros, it is fair game. So we are using training days kind of for those discretionary calories on Saturdays. So that is a great spot to plug those in, especially making sure that you've hit the gym that day. So again, we have low carb days, we have our regular carb days, low calorie days, and then a training day where we get our discretionary calories. Now, that might sound all very confusing and overwhelming, but again, the cycle repeats itself week after week. I am there on our Facebook forum every morning reminding you of what day we are on, and then even in the portal, it goes day by day, week by week, where you can see exactly what our goal is for that day. So that's really like the beauty of this program, is its flexibility, because really you can't go low carb for the rest of your life. So we flex between the two, low carb and regular carb. Staying low calorie can actually really backfire on you. So we flex between low calorie and regular calorie, and then we definitely leave room for those discretionary calories like a big fat glass of wine. That's what I always choose. So that is where this program just becomes super sustainable and doable, and we will be helping each other out all along the way, I promise. So if you have any other questions in regards to the nutrition cycle and the food cycle, please feel free to comment below this video, and I will get on and answer your questions. First and foremost, the new client assessment form, and then also my FitnessPal. I want us all on my FitnessPal, have my FitnessPal set up, and start logging your food today, even if it's not following our nutritional cycle. Get in the habit of logging, and also too, that way we can kind of see where you're starting from and where we might need to tweak things as we start and really dive in Monday the 5th with the cycle. So that is my advice, is to pick up that MyFitnessPal app and get logging so we can be super comfortable with it next week. I really appreciate you guys joining this program, and I know that you are just going to love it. And by the end of this, we will all be feeling and looking our best. So stay tuned for more educational videos and more information about what we will be doing throughout the program. Thanks for tuning in.